good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're breaking down all the news that you may have missed overnight and digging deep into what matters to you. And we begin with politics. Texas lawmakers in the House and Senate will be back to work this morning. And the House is prepared to vote on a bill that would make big changes to the Texas medical marijuana program. A lot of Texans interested in this. How will it change your life? Well, KVUE's Isabella Basco tells us more about this bill.
David Bass served in the Army for 25 years and retired as a major. When he returned from Iraq, he says he had strange symptoms that he didn't understand.
I was hypervigilant, had trouble sleeping, had nightmares about some things that happened in Iraq.
Doctors diagnosed Bass with post-traumatic stress disorder. He turned to medical cannabis for help.
Cannabis controlled the symptoms of paranoia, anger outburst. I sleep perfectly for 8 hours every night. The nightmares about Iraq went away.
Dr. Matthew Brimberry is a palliative care physician in Austin. When it comes to his patients, he likens the effects of medical cannabis to
it's a series of small miracles. They're able to have a better life without all that sedating medication.
Bass and Dr. Brimberry say House Bill 46 would help more patients. The bill would expand the list of medical conditions that qualify for the state's compassionate use program.
The more power that we can give the physicians to define what conditions and what dose is going to help our patients out.
The bill would also allow licensed dispensing organizations to open more locations.
We have patients that are in the Panhandle out in West Texas and have a hard time getting their medicine.
Cannabis is medicine, so let's treat it as medicine. And so for me and many other veterans, cannabis has been life-changing.
Now, if it is passed, this bill would go into effect on September the 1st. And also happening today, this is going to be exciting news for pretty much everybody. Nobody likes paying those junk fees, right? The things you have no idea about until you check out, whether it's a concert or hotel, whatever it is. Well, the crackdown on junk fees is going into effect today. So you can expect to see a big change when you book that hotel, when you buy that concert ticket. ABC's Allison Kosick explains.
This morning, taking the mystery out of the final cost you'll pay for online tickets to live concerts, hotels, and short-term lodging like Airbnbs. Former FTC Chair Lena Khan talked about the rule when it was announced last year.
Whatever price you see is the price that you are paying at the end.
Ticketmaster now including this pop-up when buying tickets, and third-party ticket vendor StubHub showing a breakdown of ticket prices before checkout.
Having that up front, it doesn't feel sneaky, feels just, here's the price, you can make that decision right away.
The new rule does not stop businesses from charging fees, but it bans junk fees by requiring all pricing up front, rather than tacking on extra costs like convenience fees or resort fees when you check out online. The total price also has to be displayed more prominently than any other costs.
Welcome to the Eras Tour!
The high ticket prices charged by Ticketmaster and secondary market sellers for Taylor Swift concerts sparked a big push for Minnesota to pass its own law earlier this year banning junk fees. Across the country, the FTC says there's more work to be done.
This rule is a major step, but the FTC recognizes that bait and switch pricing remains a problem in other industries. There are a lot of complaints about fees in the rental space, for instance, that are not being disclosed properly to consumers.
The Chamber of Commerce has opposed this change, calling it nothing more than an attempt to micromanage businesses' pricing structures. The FTC has said the new rule could save consumers 53 million hours in wasted time searching for the total price of live event tickets or a hotel stay. That's equal to about $11 billion in savings over a decade. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
That is pretty exciting. Maybe next is medical bills, huh? Maybe that'll be all up front. We'll keep waiting on that. Meanwhile, look out for more construction at the airport today. Starting today, crews will start construction on a terminal improvement project that will expand the arrivals and departures hall in the Barbara Jordan terminal, the main terminal. That project still has a long way to go, though, before it opens in 2030. 5 more years, but it's all right. It's going to happen. All right, now it's a 7:05. Let's get a look at weather with Casey. What are we expecting out there? We're not talking about 4 or 5 days from now. We don't want to talk about those 100 degrees. Let's talk about today, Casey.
Right. Yeah. Today, I mean, beautiful to start. Yeah, we almost want to block the rest of the forecast out of our minds here because, yeah, we've got triple-digit heat making a comeback starting tomorrow. So this morning, really soak it in, really savor it. We actually have seen much of the hill country fall into the 40s this morning. You're coming in at 46 from Mason to Llano. 48 degrees for Johnson City and Blanco. The cool spot here being Fredericksburg at 45 degrees. Elsewhere, the I-35 corridor is fitting the 50s along with out towards the coastal plains. One of those mornings you can pull down the windows and turn off the AC as you're making your commute to work, and it should be a very comfortable at least start to the day, but it's all about the layers because by this afternoon already we're talking about highs in the 90s. Now, as far as these morning lows go next several days, notice by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're only going to be cooling things down into the middle 70s. So we go from 50s to middle 70s, and this is going to be paired with the first round of triple-digit heat out of the year. Out the door right now, currently off to a dry start. We have some very dry air that is still funneled in from the north. That's one of the reasons why we were able to cool down quite a bit through the overnight time frame, along with that nice clear sky that we're waking up to across the area. And this is what kept us so cool this past weekend. We've got an upper level area of low pressure that's about 18,000 feet high in the atmosphere. We're on the west side of it, so we're on the back side of it. Those winds on the back side of it coming in out of the north, pulling in that cooler, drier air. Now this begins to work its way to the east and exits later today, and then it'll be making way for hot, high pressure that'll be building across parts of Mexico and Texas as we head into beginning tomorrow and really peaking by Wednesday. So this is what's going to be bringing us summer-like heat through the week, where again, we are talking about a stretch of triple-digit high temperatures. We actually look to be heading into what is going to be the hottest May heat wave that we've seen on record here, with the 105 degrees being our peak temperature on Wednesday for the air temperature. Not only will this be shattering daily records, but we're also expecting what on Wednesday should be actually the hottest May temperature that we've had on record for Austin. The hottest we've had so far, 104 degrees. If we reach 105 degrees on Wednesday, that would break that record for the hottest May temperature. So we do have a weather impact alert day that extends from Tuesday through Wednesday and at least through Thursday for the times 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's going to be for the roughest part of the day during the afternoon where we see those high temperatures realized across the area. You want to stay hydrated. You want to stay in the shade. Take breaks in the air conditioning when you can. And of course, remember to check on the elderly, those without AC, and also your pets. Always use the touch method when it comes to the pavement, because once we see those air temperatures bump up to above 95 degrees, the risk for skin-related burns increases dramatically. So make sure you're remembering that as you're heading out to walk the dogs as well. Temperatures right now, again, middle 50s. Look at that nice clear sky. A whole lot of sunshine today. I think some high clouds will start to drift in from the west as we head into later on this afternoon, but we'll call it a mostly sunny sky. We keep it dry. Notice those winds begin to shift back to the south tomorrow, and that's what's going to start to ramp up our temperatures. Highs today, though, already back into the lower 90s. Will be around 10 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. Tomorrow, wind shift out of the southwest. That's when we really start to crank up the heat. Triple digits across the area, especially across the I-35 corridor into the west of that. The hottest temperatures likely going to be out across the hill country, as that's where we'll have the driest of the air. And the drier the air is, the easier it is to heat up. So areas like Mason could be as hot as 107 degrees, 106 degrees for Johnson City, 108 degrees for Llano. And again, triple digits all across the Austin metro area. Wednesday going to be even hotter. We're talking about the potential of maybe seeing some highs in the hill country as hot as 110 degrees. So we may see some heat advisories issued down the road. We reach that criteria here in Central Texas when the heat index is at 108 degrees or more, the air temperature at 103 degrees or more. So it looks like we certainly could be reaching that here as we head into the next couple days, which is why we do have that weather impact alert day issued for all 3 days through Thursday. Now, after that, we'll start to see our heat slowly and steadily coming down, but still, even into the weekend, we are close to those triple digits. So we keep with the tough heat even as we head into the weekend, though we will start to see some minor rain chances included back in the forecast. And a check in now also on your traffic and those drive times. We've seen some slowdowns across areas like Buda. If you're traveling north along I-35 towards downtown, that's where we have some slower spots. We've seen things slow down if you're coming in from Oak Hill, 36-mile-per-hour drive times now if you're traveling along 290. Round Rock along the I-35 corridor heading southward have also seen some slowdowns, pretty typical for this time of day. We haven't seen anything that's stop and go just yet. Manor, if you're heading from Manor towards downtown along 290, you can also expect some slow drive times there as well.
All right, thank you very much, KC. Right now, we're waiting to see if Hamas will release the last American hostage in Gaza. Eden Alexander has been held by Hamas since October the 9th. ABC's Christiane Cordero has more on the release being a step forward to a possible ceasefire.
This morning, the last living American hostage in Gaza may be reunited with his family within hours.
My name is Eden Alexander.
The 21-year-old New Jersey native seen here in this Hamas propaganda video from last month was serving in the Israeli military when he was kidnapped during the October 7th attack. Hamas saying in a statement that the release, quote, will be part of the step being taken to achieve a ceasefire, open the crossings, and allow aid and relief to reach our people, end quote. The announcement comes as President Trump is set to travel to the Middle East today with stops in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It's Trump's last stop in Qatar that's drawing the most attention. Sources say the nation's royal family is gifting the Trump administration a Boeing 747 to use as Air Force One, worth an estimated $400 million. The plane would be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation shortly before the end of his term in 2029, meaning he could use the plane for personal use after leaving office. Some experts say the move raises ethical and national security concerns.
It raises many eyebrows to have this sort of deal at all, to be accepting Air Force One from a foreign government.
Senator Bernie Sanders saying not only is this farcically corrupt, it is blatantly unconstitutional. The Constitution prohibits anyone holding office from accepting a personal gift from a foreign head of state, but sources say Attorney General Pam Bondi has concluded it is legally permissible because the plane is not being given to an individual, but rather to the U.S. Air Force and then eventually to Trump's foundation. Trump defending the gift, saying the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction. While in the Middle East, Trump is expected to discuss the war in Gaza with Saudi leaders, but a visit to Israel is not on the itinerary. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, also in national news this morning, the United States and China have agreed to cut some of the tariffs placed on each other for 90 days. This is a move to try and calm down trade tensions and hopefully start mending those trade relations. Officials from both sides met for 2 days in Switzerland, with one U.S. official saying the deal was a big step forward, but more talks are still needed. Of course they are. And we leave you this morning with something to talk about. Turns out, you probably already knew this, but now science has proven you're right. There are health benefits to hanging out with your friends. Research shows that making time to meet up with your friends may help protect your heart and protect your brain. Melissa Adon explains in today's Medical Minute.
It may be more important than ever to spend time with friends and family because loneliness and social isolation are now recognized as serious health risks, according to the American Heart Association. In fact, spending less time with other people or feeling lonely is associated with an almost 30% increased risk of heart attack or stroke. Although it sometimes feels like we're more connected than ever with cell phones and social media, almost a quarter of people over the age of 65 report feeling isolated, and even more report loneliness. Gen Z is lonely too. Spending more time online and less time hanging out in person probably isn't helping our younger generations feel less alone. Even young children who socialize less are at higher risk for heart disease when they grow up. Researchers urge further study on how to tackle the growing loneliness epidemic, but joining community clubs or local groups may be a good place to start. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Don.
Having friends, having pets, having somebody to talk to, walk with, super important. And that's it for Daybreak Plus, everybody. Let us know what you would like to talk about, though. Message us at a 512-459-9442. It's 512-459-9442. You can also message me on social media at Rob Evans TV on Instagram, Facebook, or X. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE Plus. Goodbye, everybody.